Movies are a medium in which you can get away with murder. You can show anything you like, and it's safe and harmless, and nobody gets hurt. And yet it can certainly shock or thrill a few people, which is also a bit of fun.
Audiences worldwide are being shocked and delighted by the good, bad taste of this backyard New Zealand feature film, brainchild of the gentle 25-year-old Peter Jackson.
I'm definitely not a violent person myself. I'd never want to experience half the stuff that goes on in bad taste.
As writer, director and camera operator, Peter Jackson was not only short of funds, but of actors as well. So he starred himself in 2 roles. Playing Derek the hero and Robert the alien, he was able to do battle with himself. He both won and lost. But a film of this magnitude required a dedicated team, unpaid crew and actors to slave weekends and after work for 4 years. Peter enlisted the help of workmates and old school friends. Craig Smith, working for the Department of Internal Affairs, became the victim. Dean Laurie, a labourer in the gardens of the Wellington City Council, played a villain with a thirst for vengeance.
The film's sexual excesses surpassed...
Ken Hammond, a newspaper advertising consultant, died 23 times as an assortment of aliens.
Can't believe some idiot wrote this crap.
In an assortment of disguises. Photolithographer and workmate Terry Potter, who ended up on the hero's team with more arms than he could handle.
Good one.
Pete O'Hearn, working with the Ministry of Transport as a records clerk, was also at school with Peter Jackson and was persuaded to take and receive the film's first blood. And Mike Minette, another photolithographer from Peter's days when they all worked together on the same daily paper, completed the team of dedicated friends and, amongst the heroes, became leader of the pack.
Very nice bunch of boys. Yes. Really very nice. It used to give me a lot of pleasure when they all trooped home here, and we just had baked beans on toast. It was always, Peter said to me one day, Mum, get some baked beans in. We'd always eat baked beans on toast. So I found myself buying a crate of baked beans, and we've still got some left. So I look on them with great affection. I think they belong to the boys.
Peter Jackson was born and raised on the coast just north of Wellington, where he attended the local primary school. An only child, he was fascinated by the purchase of a home movie camera and quickly overcame any shyness in front of the lens or behind it.
Well, he took control of our camera as soon as we got it, our first little movie camera, and he could make better use of it than what we could at his young age.
We're an 8mm and...
He used to turn... We would only film people walking towards us or something like that, but Peter used to have other ideas, and he would have them swinging round and doing all sorts of things.
They'd just got it for Christmas. Somebody gave them a camera, and I immediately grabbed it and managed to get a roll of film from somewhere. I was about 8 years old, and I got a bunch of my mates, and we dug a big hole in the end of the garden and got a lot of World War II uniforms and ran around acting out something like out of a war comic full of action and high drama.
His first special effect, sticking pinholes in the celluloid for gunshots. Special effects and action are at the heart of his filmmaking, and were as much a part of this second World War II epic as they are of bad taste. And for Peter Jackson, it's always been a matter of doing it himself.
This was the very first monster that I ever made. This little character here, he's like sort of a crazy hunchback rat. And I can't remember exactly when it was. He's made of rolled up newspaper. I guess if we undid all that, we could find a date on it.
This later monster was created for a film submitted for a local television competition, encouraging younger children in filmmaking. But at that stage, he won no prizes.
The Valley is an attempt by me to really duplicate the Sinbad type of movies, because they were done by an animator called Ray Harryhausen, who used to have these amazing monsters, and I really used to love that stuff when I was a kid.
I should say special effects. That was his forte. Stop motion animation, as you've seen on some of the earlier shots, he believed a lot in that.
Yes, he was very clever doing anything like that, and had oodles of patience. That he would spend hours and hours just making a model and then doing stop motion animation. I think the horror part of it came in because he saw that as the market that he could get into.
Then along came James Bond, a new style for Peter to try as director and actor, impersonating his on-screen hero Sean Connery, but already displaying his own innate sense of humour. But many of these early films were never completed.
Yeah, losing interest was a major problem earlier on, because I had so many different ideas that I'd sort of start shooting something and I wouldn't be particularly pleased with the results. I'd realise that I didn't have the money that I needed or the expertise, and it was really, I was thinking of ideas that were Hollywood big budget films, and I had a little Super 8 camera that couldn't shoot sound, and I was trying to do animation when I didn't have a single frame control. I just have to press the trigger for a short burst and get 2 or 3 frames. It was jerky, and I'd be quite disappointed with the results and sort of forget about that particular little movie and move on to something else.
But now, having left school and working as a trainee lithographer, Peter is able to meet some costs and aims for a new dimension.
I had this idea of shooting a CinemaScope film because I love the shape of the CinemaScope screen, so I sent over to England and got a little lens that you can put on the front of your camera and your projector, and you can make movies in full CinemaScope. So we worked for about a year on this vampire movie, which never got finished again, although, you know, over an hour of it was shot. And even seeing it now on the screen is quite amazing with the this huge letterbox shaped CinemaScope screen. It's quite an effective little film.
In 1983, Peter buys a second-hand camera capable of professional results. The old 8mm is returned to Mum and Dad, and work is begun at once on a 10-minute film which 4 years later will become the feature Bad Taste.
90% of Bad Taste was shot on a Bolex. They're very, very basic. You put the film in this side, and then it's like a spring-loaded motor. You've got to wind it up, and it gives you about 30 seconds worth of shooting. They're nice and light, and you can do a lot of camera moves with them. I mean, you know, and it looks fine on the screen too.
He had the camera and his friends to assist him, but camera gear had to be made by hand. Tracks, a dolly, and although requiring some effort in getting to locations, particularly cliff tops, a camera crane.